It has not been the season that the Sharks have wanted, but to be honest, who in the West can really compete with the Colorado Avalanche? Sharks lose to the Colorado Avalanche 4-2.
Alex Newhook!
Oh boy.
Whoa!
It has become clear at this point that the Sharks are not going to make the playoffs. So you have to find bright spots where you can, and getting Kaapo Kähkönen for essentially nothing, that's definitely a bright spot. He was certainly the only bright spot of the first period, where the Sharks struggled to do anything and watched as the Avs completely controlled play, but get away with it because of Kähkönen. This team can be frustrating at times because through 2 periods, the Sharks were in this game. They had a real chance to maybe steal 2 points, but instead, they just couldn't get across the finish line. The second period was by far the best period of the game for the Sharks. They outshoot the Avs 15-12. They looked like a real darn hockey team out there. I say this knowing the Sharks gave up the first goal of the game 2 minutes into the period. Some truly terrible puck work as Vlasic first fails to clear the puck out of the zone, and then I don't know if this is just bad puck management or miscommunication, but Vlasic certainly is expecting the Losh to be on the other side of the ice and tries to rim it to him, but as you can see, the Sharks were set up 5 deep on the far side, so instead this results in a turnover for Colorado, and all of a sudden the Sharks aren't out of the zone on a play that they should be. Nothing too particularly fancy here as the Avs get it back to the point. Newhook ends up running up high and throwing a puck towards the net. The Sharks have done a pretty decent job in coverage here. This is not a great opportunity. The one thing they didn't do is clear the net front, and that means Kähkönen never really sees this one, and it ends up in the goal. That type of goal right there, that is the one that goes in because a team is dominating you. They just eventually throw enough pucks on net that one goes their way and ends up in behind. It's the way it goes. You don't want to give up goals like that. You have to impose your will on the game better. And the Sharks did that through the rest of the second period. The challenge was, in my opinion, stupid. I don't think that was close to goalie interference, but hey, in this league, sometimes you just flip a coin and see if you get lucky with that. Now, the turn of the tide really started to come when the Sharks drew some penalties out of Colorado. And while the Sharks didn't score on those power plays, they did get going the right direction, and that eventually resulted in a 5-on-5 goal. A bit of good fortune here for the Sharks as they don't clear this puck very effectively, but it takes a funny bounce, and it gets the Avs to commit to the puck in the offensive zone. So when the Sharks do win it, they're kind of off on, it's not an odd man rush, but it becomes one, as I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Sharks are actually the faster team out on the ice here. Hertl just beats his man up the ice, and eventually Timo Meier does the same up the middle of the ice, and all of a sudden, what was a 3-on-2, a 2-on-2 at best, becomes nearly a 2-on-0 at this point. It is contested, but Hertl does a great job to fight through his man at the blue line and create a great play. Even while getting tripped up as he comes in, he's able to stay strong on his skates and make a great pass falling down to a wide-open Timo Meier on the back door, and sometimes it's easy finishes. There's a decent amount of uncertainty in the future with the Sharks here. There's a lot of guys locked into contracts that they might have to get creative to start restructuring this hockey team. But having Tomas Hertl as a solid piece through all of that, I really think that's a good thing. If the Sharks hadn't given out well over $20 million to a bunch of defensemen that can't play hockey anymore, the future might be bright. Instead, kind of stuck somewhere in the middle. But that's a bigger picture problem. This game is 1-1 after the second period, and both teams are right in it. This is a winnable game. Oh, the Avs outshot the Sharks 18-5 in the third period and completely buried them. Interesting. Oh, their fourth line scored a goal on us 3 minutes into the period. The Sharks, another play where they should be up and out of their own zone. This is Erik Karlsson. This guy should have great vision, right? You expect him to get up the ice, see the ice, and get the puck going the right direction. He just does not see Val Nichushkin coming down the middle of the ice and completely throws a turnover right at him. Now, he does lift it. A little bit of credit to the Avs here. Val makes a nice play to knock this puck out of the air and keep it going, but you need better than that from Erik Karlsson. He makes $11.5 million. You just need better than that. This is a turnover, and the Sharks are completely out of sorts here. Darren Helm is able to beat them up the ice. Nichushkin makes a very nice pass across, and Helm with a quality up-high finish. The Sharks pay the price. So not great, but again, it's about the little things here, and the Sharks made this a competitive hockey game, at least on the scoreboard, for 50-plus minutes. They managed to get this one back to tied. Hertl continues to be money in the face-off circle for this team. He wins an offensive zone draw there to create an opportunity for Brent Burns. This definitely hits something on the way in, and the redirect just slips through Francouz to get the Sharks back to tied. I can't keep this shtick up anymore. Brent Burns sucks. He's getting paid $8 million to play terrible defense and needs goals like that one to go in for him to even get to 50 points on the season. It's not to say he's a terrible hockey player on the whole, but he's certainly not anywhere near worth the contract that he's getting paid for forever. The rest of this game is what separates the wheat from the chaff. The Avs turned it up through the third period and are just a better team than the San Jose Sharks. I don't think there's a whole lot more to it than that. They dominated the puck, they get the rewards of that, including power plays, and they score goals with their opportunities. A penalty kill story you've heard a million times before. After the Avs get in the zone, they get a shot from out high on net. The rebound pops out, and the Sharks just completely forget about the back side of the ice. The puck shoots out to Nazem Kadri, and all of the Sharks turn, puck watching. Mikko Rantanen is left on the opposite side to walk in as far as he wants. The Sharks do not even cover the passing lane particularly well. They are just entirely unaware of his existence. So when the puck comes across, Mikko actually has an entire month to shoot at a wide open net. The dagger comes when the Sharks kind of just get worked by Nazem Kadri. He just goes up the wall. You can't be doing stick check stuff there. You have to seal that guy. It's not good enough defense from the outset here. Kadri eventually works it back out high for a quality opportunity. It kicks off for a rebound, and the Sharks just hops over their stick. A bit of a tough break, hockey style there. Burakovsky gets an open net to shoot at because of it. It gets you to a 4-2 final and is likely the last nail in the coffin for the Sharks, as they were probably out of the playoffs anyway, but certainly now it seems an impossible mountain to climb to get up to one of those wild card spots. The Sharks' problem isn't that they're a bad team. They're a decent team stuck somewhere in the middle. The problem is, how do they retool going forward? They have decent young pieces in the system. They have some early 20s players in the lineup that you'd like to see get a little bit more out of, but unfortunately they're stuck with a bunch of long-term contracts for aging players that just don't fit that well anymore. Defense is only going to become more and more of an anchor as time goes on, and I don't know how they fix it. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and happy April Fool's Day.